Hello, are you ready for another story with NanNan? I got another one that I borrowed from my friend, and this one is called The Great Green Forest by Paul Garati. At least I think that's how you say his name. But this story is all about the forest. And I expect it might have something to do with conservation because my friend is very interested in conservation. Do you know what conservation is? It's where we try to look after the forests and the trees and nature, and we try and look after animals and things that can't look after themselves. Because if we didn't look after all the animals and the trees and the insects, we'd hate for them to die out, wouldn't we? We want them to be here forever. I expect it's got something to do with that. The Great Green Forest. High up in the great green forest, the sun began to rise. And there's a beautiful picture there of the forest with the sun beginning to rise. Way down in the deep dark shadows, a tree mouse was curling up to sleep. Looks like that little tree mouse is in a hole in the tree and is curling up with some leaves for its bed. Creech, creech, whoop, whoop, chirped the frogs. The sounds were screechy and the sounds were sharp. Whoop, whoop, creech, creech. Look at all those tree frogs. Looks like a bee there as well. But there's a red frog and a green frog and a green and yellow frog. They do make funny noises, don't they, frogs? Stop that noise, yelled the tree mouse. I'm trying to sleep. But all she heard was the zee-zee-zee-zee of a cicada somewhere outside. Zee-zee-zee-zee, and then of a hummingbird. Over there, and over here. I don't actually know whether hummingbirds do hum, but look, there's a hummingbird. They're very tiny birds with long beaks, and they put their long beaks into the flowers to take the nectar, and they flap their wings very fast, and I think that's what makes the humming noise. Stop that noise, yelled the tree mouse. I'm trying to sleep. Then, kiki-ki-doo, came the calls from the forest crown. Toucans pierced the curtain of green with a kiki-ki-goo. Toucans are big, colourful birds. Look at that. Spectacular bird, isn't it? And they do make a lot of noise. Stop that noise, yelled the tree mouse. I'm trying to sleep. But the forest was alive with songs and sounds. That'll be the songs from the birds and the sounds of all the insects and other animals that were there. Ya, screech, 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 squawed a macaw. Ya, screech, 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 squawed another one. Stop that noise, yelled the tree mouse. I'm trying to sleep. A macaw is another type of parrot. Look, very colourful parrot like that. Lots of noise going on, isn't there, in this jungle? But her voice was drowned by the monkeys that bickered in the branches. Whoop, 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 whooped one. Whoop, 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 whoop. They were talking to each other. You know, like monkeys talk? Have you ever seen monkeys talk? Whoop, 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 chatter, chatter, chatter. They have like a conversation, don't they? And look, here's some monkeys in the trees talking to each other. Stop that noise, yelled the tree mouse. I'm trying to sleep. And suddenly the forest fell silent. All she heard was the echo of her own voice. Animals clung in silence, not daring to move or make a sound. There, There, look, they're all hanging onto a branch. That looks like a sloth, that animal. I'm not sure what this one is. But they've gone very silent. I wonder why. Even the cats that ruled the forest now cowered in the quiet. That's better, thought the tree mouse. Look, the big cats. So that's a panther and a leopard. All the big cats of the jungle, they were all quiet as well. Well, I wonder why. But it wasn't any good. She couldn't sleep. The silence grew worse than any noise until finally she cried out, "Please make some noise, I'm trying to sleep." So look, the little tree mouse wasn't happy because then it was too quiet. She was too quiet and she couldn't sleep. She waited and then there was a noise. She heard a distant brum, brum, then a crack that shook her to the ground. A tree had fallen. A tree had fallen and a gaping hole was left in the crown of the great green forest. Look, so after that noise, a tree had fallen down and there was a big gap where that tree had been. A big hole in the forest. Crack! Another tree came down. There she is, look. And she's looking at something. What do you think she's looking at? What made that noise? Brum, brum. An ugly sound made the ground shudder, and the tree mouse knew her tree would be next. She looked up at her home. Then she turned to the terrible sound, and at the top of her voice she yelled, "Stop that noise!" There she is, look. She's putting her hand up to say, "Stop that noise." She knows that her tree will be next. That's the tree that she lives in. But the noise didn't stop. Brum, brum, it drew closer. Brum, brum, till the earth thundered. Brum, brum, it grew louder. Brum, brum, till the earth shook. But the tree mouse stood firm. Now, do you know what this is that's making that noise? Do you know what it is? What do you think? There's a man up there driving it, look. What do you think that is? Then something made the driver stop. And when he stopped, he felt the silence. He saw the broken trees. He saw the fallen nests. And he sensed angry eyes watching him. So the man that was driving that digger, he stopped and he could see and feel all those animals, the homes that he'd destroyed. And all those animals' eyes were looking at him. So he sat and he thought. He stayed there and thought till the sun went down. And when it was dark, he went away. So there he is, that man, sitting on his digger, sitting there till the sun went down, thinking. And when it was dark, he went away. And he never came back. Now, way up in the great green forest, the trees are growing again. And look at that lovely picture of the great green forest. And look at all those lovely animals and trees that are flourishing. Flourishing means they're growing, They're growing beautifully and strong, and everything is growing, and all the animals are happy. That's a beautiful picture, isn't it? And deep down in the dark woods, a tree mouse curls up and closes her eyes. She listens to the songs and sounds of the forest, which tell her that for now she can sleep in peace. There she is. So all she's got is the sounds of the forest, the other animals, all the nature all around her, and she knows that's a normal sound, so she can sleep peacefully. And that's the end of that story. That's a nice story, isn't it? So we really mustn't be knocking down trees and making all those animals homeless, because they want to live in the forests and they're happy in the forests. So the forests have to stay there, so all the animals can flourish and all the trees and the plants can flourish and grow. That's a good story, isn't it? I hope you liked it. Bye for now.